Aloha class. So now we're moving on to an accounts payable. What if this was a payable, right? So now we're receiving consulting worth $100,000, so we're gonna have to pay out cash, but not now. We're gonna pay it in January of X2. These are our direct and indirect rates. We are still gonna use this direct rate because we have this. We're using U.S. dollars. Excuse me. This is option 1. We're using U.S. dollars. I don't care about the rates. I don't care how they're fluctuating because it's denominated in U.S. dollars and I am not exposed to foreign exchange risk. So I would debit my consulting expense and credit an accounts payable account for 100,000 U.S. dollars, and it is denominated in U.S. dollars. At the year end, there's no gain or loss on this amount because I'm not exposed to foreign exchange risk. No foreign exchange gain or loss. And then eventually I do pay it out, right? I do pay out that cash. And I didn't want to negotiate how we're going to denominate the consulting services fees in a different currency in CNY, so we're keeping it at US dollars. So nice and easy, refer back to 201. Right, but now we're going to do the option 2, which is the focus of chapter 7 in our class because we're doing exchanges with the foreign company. And so now they say we're going to denominate it in 606,060.61 CNY. So this is the exact same problem, but now we're in a payables position, right? So kind of adjust your thinking. We are now in a payables position. And as I look at these rates, these direct rates, I can see that the rate is going up. So I'm going to be pretty sad at the reporting date when the rate's going up because that means my payable is increasing and I'm going to have to pay more than expected and I'm going to be losing money, right? But then at the settlement date, the rate goes way down, and I'm in a payables position, meaning my payable is going to decrease significantly, even less than I originally anticipated. So I'm going to be paying less than $100,000 and have a larger gain at the end when everything's said and done for this accounts payable, right? And so because I left myself open to foreign exchange risk, it was favorable for this case in a payables position. And so these are given to you in a problem, right? The exchange rate on a specific day. But nobody can really predict these. These are, driven by the market or demand. But you're given all of these up front, but in real life, you're really not going to have all of these laid out and know exactly what the market is doing unless you had a crystal ball or something or could see into the future. So these will be given in a problem. And so we are in a payables position, same exact information. We could delete that because that wasn't given to us. This is the amount, now it's not of sale, this is the amount of payable. So at the date of sale, which is not the date of sale, which is the date of they sold it to us, right? Date of receiving, right? We entered into this contract. We entered into the contract to take on a liability. So what is that? Initiation, transaction date, transaction date, right? We had $100,000 worth of consulting services. Yep, it was $100,000 worth of consulting services. I would do consulting expense and then an accounts payable of $100,000 based on these rates. Okay, and I'd put that into my T account over here, and the payable is really what I'm worried about. You could have other T accounts that have gains and losses, but right now my payable is the one that's going to be moving, and so that's the one I focused on. So now we can see what happens at reporting date. I do need to update my payable to its fair value, so keep that in mind. Oh no, my payable just went up by 1,818. Right? And I could calculate this gain or loss. I know this is going to be a loss because my payable's increasing. So I'm going to debit a loss on foreign exchange and my accounts payable is increasing. And I could do that by taking the difference between these rates and timesing it by the amount of foreign currency. Yep, and so it did increase there. My payable, my balance is now 101,818, and so payable must have increased, right, by 1,818. And so opposite of what we had with the receivable, and now I'm going to be in a gain position because the rate decreased over here, and you could probably see the decrease from the 1 if you did 0.163 minus, in the formula, 0.163 minus 0.168, you could see a negative amount, and you would know that your payable was decreasing, but just know your journal entry wouldn't be a negative amount, so maybe try to adjust that. And so we're going to have a gain. Our account payable is decreasing, meaning the amount we have to pay out for the service is decreasing, so that's a positive thing for us. And we can see that in the total amount. So we can see this in the total because it goes down to 987.88. So it goes down to 98,788, sorry. And we can adjust our T account, right? So we need to debit our accounts payable and credit a gain there, right? We're going to settle at this amount, right? Our accounts payable will go down. So this is settlement date. Settle. This is year end. And this is the transaction date, this consulting expense. So finally, in accounts payable, we will pay cash. First, we'll have cash, that's US dollars. We'll go take that to the bank, and it's worth 98,788, right? And then we'll go trade that. Oh, no, sorry. Cash, US dollars, goes down, right? And then we're going to go get CNY. Yeah, cash for CNY, that's denominated in CNY. So we're changing this amount for this CNY amount. So they give us this amount at the bank based on the rate, and then we pay off our payable, and we have CNY cash. That was at the same amount. So just know this is kind of an additional entry that you first have to trade it at the bank for the foreign currency, and then you go pay off your payable. Because that's what your receipt was denominated in. I don't know if we focus a ton on changing at the bank, changing the cash for the right currency or not, but it's definitely a factor that you'd have to take into account to go to the bank and change it. And we can see these entries. We have the consulting expense. First we had the loss, then we had a gain, and then we finally paid out that payable in CNY, right? But we had to get CNY first from the bank. And so so that's the main points that I want you to think about as we go into chapter 7.